All right, let's get into what is, no joke, one of history's biggest cold cases. We're talking about a civilization that for a while there was the largest and most advanced on the entire planet. A society of brilliant engineers and traders who built these incredible cities, and then they just vanished. It's a story that feels eerily relevant today.
So how does that even happen? How does one of the world's very first great urban civilizations just disappear from the map? It's a question that has stumped archaeologists for a century. See, they didn't leave behind epic poems about a final battle or evidence of some huge disaster. The people just left. So let's put on our detective hats and see where the evidence takes us.
Okay, first things first. To really get what's going on, you have to understand the sheer scale of what was lost. We have to, visit the scene of the crime. And this wasn't some small backwater kingdom. This was an ancient world superpower.
I want you to just let that sink in for a minute. We all know about ancient Egypt, right? The pyramids, the pharaohs, and Mesopotamia, the quote-unquote cradle of civilization. Well, the Indus Valley Civilization was bigger than both of them, combined. That is just mind-blowing. We're talking about a colossal society.
And if you want a hard number, we're talking about 1.25 million square kilometers. That's a huge chunk of the map, stretching across what we now call Pakistan, Afghanistan, and India. This wasn't just a civilization. For its time, it was the whole world.
And listen, it wasn't just about size. These guys were brilliant. I mean, their cities, like the famous Mohenjo-Daro, were laid out in these perfect, neat grids. And get this, they had urban sanitation systems. We're talking plumbing and sewers that were way ahead of their time, like thousands of years ahead. They had standardized weights for trade, and they even had their own writing system, which, and this is so frustrating, we still can't read. But it just goes to show you this was a super organized, complex, and wealthy society.
Okay, so you've got this incredible, massive civilization at the absolute top of its game, and then it just starts to fade away. But this wasn't like a movie where there's a big explosion. No, this was a slow fade, a centuries-long vanishing act.
So their peak, what experts call the mature Harappan phase, that went on for about 600 years. Pretty good run, right? But then, around 1900 BCE, you start to see things going wrong. And over the next few hundred years, these huge, bustling cities just empty out. The whole culture kind of breaks apart into smaller, more rural groups. And this is what makes it such a head-scratcher. When archaeologists dig, they're not finding layers of ash from giant fires. They're not finding heaps of weapons or bodies from a huge war. The city walls aren't smashed down. It's like everyone just packed their bags over a couple of generations and walked away. But why? Where did they all go?
All right, so let's get into the investigation. For a really long time, the number one suspect was a foreign invasion. You know, the classic story. A powerful civilization gets taken down by outside forces.
This was called the Aryan invasion theory. The idea was pretty straightforward. Warrior nomads on chariots came storming in from Central Asia. People pointed to ancient Hindu texts, the Vedas, that talk about gods who destroy forts, and they thought, aha, that must be it. It was a neat, simple, and dramatic explanation. But, when things seem a little too simple in history, they usually are.
So let's open up the evidence file on this one. Okay, on the pro-invasion side, you've got a handful of unburied skeletons found in the streets of Mohenjo-Daro and those mentions in the old texts. But that's about it. Now look at the against column. It's huge. There's zero widespread archaeological evidence of war, no weapon caches, no burned down cities. And those skeletons, when scientists examined them, they showed no signs of battle wounds. But here's the real kicker. The timing is all wrong. The Indus cities were already in decline long before these new groups of people showed up. So yeah, suspect number one, debunked. Case closed.
So, if it wasn't an invasion, what was it? Well, investigators had to turn to a new suspect. One that's a lot quieter, a lot more subtle, but way, way more powerful. They started looking at the environment itself.
This brings us to the environmental decline theory. Basically, the idea is that the very things that helped this civilization thrive, the land, the rivers, the weather, all turned on them. We're talking about massive, long-term shifts in the climate that slowly, piece by piece, made life in those big cities pretty much impossible.
And unlike the invasion theory, this one has a ton of science to back it up. For one, geologists have figured out that a massive river system, the Ghaggar Hakra, which many of their cities depended on, literally started to dry up. At the exact same time, the summer monsoons, the seasonal rains that are the lifeblood of agriculture there, started getting weaker and really unpredictable. So, no reliable water means your farms fail. And if your farms fail, you don't have a surplus of food. And without a food surplus, well, the whole economic engine just sputters and dies. You can't support those giant cities.
So, what's the final verdict in this ancient mystery? Well, it looks like there wasn't a single culprit. It was more like a conspiracy of factors. The consensus today points to a perfect storm of environmental change.
Yeah, it wasn't one single dramatic event. History is almost never that neat. The collapse of the Indus Valley Civilization was a cascade of failures, a slow-motion catastrophe, triggered by a world that was fundamentally changing around them.
You can just picture the dominoes falling, one by one. First, the rivers shift, and the rains stop coming when they're supposed to. That leads to crop failures. With no extra food to trade, the entire economic system breaks down. And the final domino? People have no choice but to abandon the great cities and spread out, looking for new ways to survive. The civilization didn't die so much as it de-urbanized and transformed.
So you might be thinking, okay, fascinating story, but it happened 4,000 years ago. Why should I care? Well, because this isn't just ancient history, is it? It's a chillingly familiar case study of a highly sophisticated society that was brought to its knees by shifts in the climate.
Think about it. They had no idea what was happening on a grand scale. They didn't have climate models or satellites. They were just trying to survive as their world changed under their feet. We, on the other hand, we have the science. We can see the changes coming. So as we look at the evidence of their decline, we have to ask ourselves, are we listening to the warnings their silent cities have left for us? What can the story of their vanished world teach our own? Definitely something to think about.